Alright, so we're gonna do another cartridge here. Again, going over just why Bestine is so awesome. So, might be wondering, why would I bother to restore an NBA Live 97 cartridge? This thing's probably worth maybe $3 to $4, if that. But it's a perfect candidate to show you guys just how well Bestine works for removing shit like this, I don't know, a yard sale style tag or garage sale or whatever kind of junk on people's front lawn sale you want to call it. But yeah, and then also we've got a rental label, which I apologize for the shininess of it. I've added some additional lighting to this video. And then we've also got one of these, I guess, thermal transfer style labels, but it's not one of the nice, like, paper coated ones. It's very glossy, and I've had nothing but bad luck with getting these off, and we might actually damage this back label trying to get this one off. But we'll see, and that's why a cartridge like this is great to show you, because, well, if I mess it up, I don't care. So, yeah, you can see cartridge is real dirty, so you got a whole bunch of grime up in there. Stains over in here. Label's not in great shape, but it's decent enough that I should be able to show you how well it cleans up. Crap up here that I don't even want to question what that is. And yeah, so let's get started. I'm not gonna go too in depth into all the tools and stuff I typically use for this and the basic processes. If you're interested in that, watch my last video. See, just with a little bit of water goes a long way. But yeah, let's start tackling that boy. So yeah, again, love me some Bestine, and this whole video is going to be about why it's so great. So I mean, all the last video, obviously it's good for cleaning, doesn't damage labels, will keep this glossy layer on your labels intact with while removing film, dirt, adhesives, etc. So when it comes to labels, I typically start with just trying to get a nice soak in, especially with these paper topped ones. It's really easy to start to loosen up the adhesive by soaking in your Bestine through the paper surface of the label itself. So in this scenario, you'll notice I'm not trying to remove excess moisture from the Q-tip. I actually want as much Bestine to soak into this paper surface as possible. So I'm applying some downward pressure to try to get some pull up a little bit on these edges. Just trying to starting to loosen up the edge adhesive here a little bit. If you're lucky, you can actually start to pull up with a Q-tip, and that's when you know you're gonna have a good label pull. So it doesn't look like we're gonna get that lucky with this one. Oh, yep, and see, there we go. So you're just using a real wet Q-tip soaked up with some Bestine, and essentially what you're doing here is you're slowly just eating away at the adhesive, and you want to keep it moist with the Bestine so that you can start to do this. And I wonder if I can get a good label for you guys. This might not be as good as I normally do it because I am not naturally left-handed, but let's see if I can work this. So I will work the Q-tip back and forth while applying constant, slight upwards pressure. And this one's actually, yeah, just going to come off real clean. And you can see it just lifts right off. There's the label, completely intact even. And then just give your area a nice rub down to remove any excess adhesive that might be left over. Switch over to your dry side, give it a little. You'll feel the cotton pull on any leftover adhesive, so it's a good way of identifying adhesive areas that you might not necessarily be able to see so well. So, and then the rest of this front, we're just going to clean up like normal with Bestine. So just give it a nice little rub. God, I'm going to find some better terminology. I'm going to use another cotton swab here. You don't want to mix them, especially after they're dirty too. But yeah, I'm just going to get a little bit on the corner. This I got way too much on there. This obviously I do want to dab out. So, and we're same as before. Medium amount of pressure with some circular motions. I'm just trying to work out any leftover grime, etc. And you can see that. That's just coming off on the surface. And you can see on there, see that dark spot there? That's actually where there was a little bit of a, looks like an impact point. Yeah, it's an impact point. On the on the game itself, on the label, and this is just like in the last episode with the back label, and that will that'll flash itself out. Actually, I can even show you, especially now with the new lighting. Yeah, that back corner there, this whole edge had darkened and got wet, and as you can see, it's not anymore. So that's what will end up happening here at the this spot here. But again, sports game, not super worried about it. And yeah, front of this cartridge is already went from, I don't know, not terrible I guess before, but now we're really good. And the reflection here, and I doubt I will be able to. Oh, actually, you can kind of see it there in the camera. You can get an idea of where that label still was, just because this isn't nearly as scuffed up or roughed up. And unfortunately, some scenarios you're never going to be able to do anything about it, because, like, I mean, heck, look at on that label there, 1997. That label's been on there for going on 20 years, so, or over 20 years. So yeah, anyways, let's move on to the back here. So I've done these types before, and like I said, I haven't had a huge amount of luck with Illusion of Gaia cartridge. I just wrecked the back label on trying to get one of these off, and in retrospect, I probably should have still left it there. But we're going to start with a very similar process. So we're going to start by just soaking out the edges, and in a case like this, I use one of these cotton pads, because you really want to start to get this stuff to soak in. But again, you're trying to be careful. You're not trying to get too much bleed through down into this edge so that it leaks underneath the label you care about. And we're essentially trying to accomplish the same thing we did on the front label. We're trying to get a soak through to the adhesive itself. But with this being a glossy topped label, you're not going to get it to soak in through the top surface. So you're going to have to try to get as much to soak in under the corner and sides here as much as you can. And then, similar concept, you just want to start rolling an edge up. Now, these types in the past, and if it's the same kind of label, yeah, it's feeling like it is. This is gonna be rough, because you can see there is a glossy. The glossy layer actually starts to separate from the paper itself, and that makes this really hard to start to try to lift it up. But we're going to do our best. So, yeah, similar concept. Roll up your edge, and you can actually watch the Bestine soak into the paper underlayer and start to permeate throughout it. And, yeah, I'm not going to do this one reverse-handed. Sorry, I'm going to be blocking the view. I'll try to do at least as possible, but I need, yeah. So this gloss, oh, it actually looks like this glossy layer just wants to rip up on its own. That might actually work out in our favor. Yep, sure is. Cool. So, you guys just learned something new with me today. Try to peel the gloss off itself. Bring it down to the paper. If you're lucky, it'll work out like that. And kick that layer off. And now you can see we're just soaking that paper label, which should allow it to permeate down to the adhesive underneath this. And then, yep, go back here. So in the case where you have a label that is a sticker that's on a label but also on the plastic, I always start on the plastic edge. And I mean, that seems pretty obvious, but I will point it out just in case no one else thought about that, because it gives you a nice clean area to try to start pulling. So as you can see, just in that one clean, smooth motion, I now have this completely disconnected from the plastic, and now I can start applying Bestine in a back and forth slow motion while slowly starting to peel this label off of the back. So, yep, I'm gonna get, in scenarios like this, you're always gonna get some kind of bleed, wetness bleeding on the edge. There's nothing you're gonna be able to do about that. So that's, again, that's why we're using Bestine, is because that will flash off. So, real smooth, just light back and forth motion, a little bit of upwards, or, you know, a opposite direction pressure of wherever you're trying to pull from, and just real nice and slow. You're already making some great progress, and we haven't torn anything off the label. So once again, working at like cross angles like this, I seem to have better luck more cleanly pulling the label off. Just a little tip for you. Going straight down after you get off of the plastic becomes a lot harder because you're trying to pull off more surface area at once. The less surface area you're trying to disconnect, the more likely it is to cooperate with you. And we are actually getting some pull up on the side here where we're losing some of our adhesive. So we're going to switch up strategies here and take this down like this. And we are getting some adhesive being left over on the surface of the back label, but it's not too bad. Yeah. So, again, real clean single piece. And you can see under here, let me try to get that out of the reflection as much as I can. So we do have, yeah, there we go, darkness, wetness leak all down along this edge. But this is what I'm talking about. This will all flash out, and I will, I'll do an after video after this, this cartridge dries out, probably tomorrow. So, and I'll show you just how well that dries up, so you can get a nice comparison. But yeah, let's try and tackle this fucking rental label. I've never done one of these before, so this is gonna be real interesting. Just scraping off some of the paper adhesive left over. Just gotta, same thing as I did on the last one, just real light thumbnail work. There is definitely a little bit of adhesive residue left over, so all I'm doing is using a mostly dried out Bestine Q-tip and allowing that dryness to kind of catch on that adhesive and take it off with the Q-tip itself, as opposed to trying to like scratch it or rub it off or anything like that. So, alright, again, not 100% sure how to tackle taking one of these off. Never done it before. I think that we'll start trying to soak the edge out. Well, I mean, the thing is definitely dirty, but it doesn't seem to be, it's soaking under the edge. I sure as heck can't tell. So, here's something I'm never comfortable doing, but I'm try to give her a little scrape. See if we can get a corner to lift up. Which, yeah, that baby's always on there. Ugh. I do not like to apply that much downwards pressure. Maybe if we try to soak that edge. I don't know. The under label is definitely soaked out. Don't think it is affecting this rental label at all. Jeez. Okay. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna start getting a little rough with this thing since it is only a sports game. I just really want to see what I have to do to get one of these things off. Alright, ooh. Alright, a little bit of a corner lift. Maybe I can do something with that. Yeah. Well, I'd venture a guess. It would be that this label type doesn't use a rubber cement based adhesive or something similar to it, like most of these do. Oof. Well, maybe it does, because this is actually starting to work. I'm just gonna get a corner started. And the fact that this is more like a metal foil than a paper might actually work in our favor in the long run. So it might make unsticking this a lot simpler. Well, not simpler, but peeling it off easier, because it's not going to want to disintegrate. It's definitely going to be harder, because we can't soak the solvent through the material itself. You have to kind of just rely on permeating it into that underlayer a little bit there. I just can't get enough to get started. Oh, there we go. As you can see, I'm just lifting this corner out. This is going to be a slow process. I'm going to time lapse this for you most likely. Oh, yeah, got a little bit of damage down here. So, when that starts to happen, let me see if I can get in there close enough. Yep. Okay. So, yeah, doesn't look quite like you can see it. But right in there, the surface, the gray surface, is starting to peel up with the label itself. So what we're going to do is just press some Bestine in there. Get it all along that edge. Let it soak in for a second. We're going to attack this corner for a moment. Let that permeate in a little bit and try to change the pressure direction we're coming from. Now obviously we got to go across, so we're not going to be able to completely change it, but try to change the angle up a little bit so maybe it doesn't pull across that so heavily. Yep. And we pulled the label right over the slightly damaged section. Excuse me. No, and we're getting more damage. Damn it. Wonder if it's because that's too wet? No, it just looks like it was just a bad spot. And now we're right past it again. And a lot of what I'm doing here is using the Q-tip itself to press and move the label. It's not being taken off so much by me applying the backwards or upwards pressure. It's more being taken off by me taking this Q-tip and pushing up against the edge of the label like that. Shit. Yeah, this bottom edge is just not wanting to cooperate very well. Sometimes when if you're lucky, use like a little pick or something like this. There's just a little bit of metal I have around to, you can see it's right size to get in between there sometimes. But if you're lucky, sometimes you can prevent further little pull-ups like these by re-pulling down the paper that's getting stuck, which I just did on that one. Hooray. So exciting. Yes. Oh no. That's exactly what I didn't want to do. So, don't do that. Where you, the last corner is very important. You can see it chunked off a decent little bit of the label there. Oops. Well, again, this is why we're practicing on a NBA Live 1997 cartridge. And yeah, so there's a little bit of adhesive left on here. Clean up that pretty easily though. Get us a fresh Q-tip. And yeah. And yeah, so that's it's 2 labels removed. Now you can see quite obviously now all of those dark spots. And in probably actually not till tomorrow, I will actually do a follow-up and tack it onto the end of this and show you that all of those spots are going to dry out. So I'm just going to clean up the rest of this grossness on here real quick. Now that black is ink, but the reason you're getting that is because this layer is damaged on the corner, so that's definitely something to keep in mind of. In areas like that, you can lightly rub Bestine over it, but do not apply any kind of heavy pressure, because you will just start to destroy the label. Alright, so, yeah, we got us label-free and mostly undamaged, just the light amount of damage there. And again, if I was being a little bit more patient and careful with this, I might have been able to do a better job. But honestly, spots like this, especially with these metallic material type labels, yeah, they you're always gonna run into issues like this, as in this is always something to watch out for. It's very easy to cause this damage, and that's always a risk every time you're going to peel a label off. And that's, unfortunately, you need to make that call yourself as a collector and say, hey, do I care about labels being on here? Or, I'm sorry, do I care about stickers being on here? Or do I want to, run the risk of slightly damaging a label? And for me, I would rather take them off, but I definitely understand that that's not how everyone feels. And I definitely feel that to each their own. Oh, we got a little bit down there. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a little bit more side work on this. But I think I got my point across to you guys that Bestine is the best for any kind of label work. And yeah, stick around. We'll show you how this looks after it dries out. All right. So, got our follow-up here, NBA Live, and front came out great. No wet spot on the front label here. You can see cleared up perfectly fine. I'm just trying to see if that's going to focus for you. All right. Yeah, front label came out fine. Back label not so much. Yeah, did not fare so well. So, we, yeah. I know I spent these last 2 videos, telling you how great Bestine is, and how it's not going to damage your labels, and yada, yada, yada. And, yeah, I'm a liar. So, honestly, I don't know what happened with this label. I mean, you guys watched me do it, obviously. And yeah, I have a few guesses. Having all these tear-up points probably didn't help how this bottom label fared out here at all. You can tell the top's not nearly as bad as the bottom was there, but yeah. The other theory I have is that this game's made in Puerto Rico, so maybe never cleaned up a Puerto Rican cartridge before. It's actually the first one I've ever seen. Didn't know they produce cartridges in Puerto Rico, but maybe their label is different. I mean, this also is NBA 1197, so I'd have to assume this came out in at least 1996. By that time, they might have definitely changed production processes. So, anyways, yeah, thanks for watching this Super Chilltendo restoration video.